In need of some brow mapping tricks? I'm here to give you all my brow mapping tricks in order to make your microblading pre-draw as easy as possible. In this video, I'll be doing a live brow mapping demo step by step, sharing all my secrets for a badass pre-draw. If you're new to my channel, my name is Christy and I'm the owner of Boss Brows. I've been in the beauty industry for almost 9 years now, specializing in microblading. If you're looking to improve your microblading craft or build your business, make sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every Tuesday. When you're measuring with the brow mapping string, make sure to pull a large enough piece so that you can measure the entire length and height of the face. The first thing you want to do is you want to find point 0. You will measure the entire face by splitting it right down the middle. Make sure you don't use the nose as the center point. You want to go from the bottom of the chin all the way to the top of the hairline. This way we get a true point 0. The first lines that we want to find are the vertical lines. These are the beginning, the arch, and the end of the brow. If you start from the tip of the nose, so right here, the top of the nostril, and you include the entire eye going all the way up, you'll find point A. The next vertical line we want to find is the arch. This is point B. When you're measuring point B, you want to go to the outside of the pupil, but inside the eye. So right there. The arch may differ depending on the client's face shape. Basically, you want that arch to be right where the brow bone starts to curve over. And whatever you do to one side, you want to do to the other. What I can do here is we can measure the distance between point A and B and bring it over here and create our line that way. Just by using our caliper, measuring the distance between point A and B, drawing with a little bit of our brow mapping pencil and carrying it over and carefully making a point B line. That way you ensure the distance between point A and B are symmetrical or the same. But again, you do want to double check to make sure it's at the right spot. Yep, we're good. To find point C, we're going to draw a line from the outside of the nose all the way to the outside of the eye, making sure that when you bring that string against the head, it doesn't drop. So we're coming like this and drawing our line. So see how I don't let it drop? So now we have our vertical lines. You will want to make sure that all of your lines are equal. So measure the distance between point A and C and make sure it's the same on the other side. You can also measure the distance between B and C on both sides and A and B. Let's go ahead and find the thickness of our brow. So these would be the horizontal lines. For this, I'm going to choke up on that string and I'm gonna come right beneath the brow bone. So right where that brow bone starts. And I want to make sure that it's symmetrical to the face. Where this first horizontal line and this first vertical line intersect, that is going to be point 1. So essentially we're drawing out the beginning of our baseline. We're going to do the next horizontal line. This is going to map out the thickness of our brow. Make sure that the distance between this point and this point and this point and this point are equal. And it's very easy to do using this string. So this would be point 1, this would be point 2. To find point 3, we would just go to the top of the arch or that brow bone right where it starts to curve and we'll carry it over. And that is our point 3. Now point 4 can be a little bit harder just because point 4, we're measuring the lower arch and this is where the brow bone starts to curve under. Really hold that string close to the hairline. You don't want the space between point 3 and 4, the point we're about to make, to be larger than the distance between point 1 and 2. They should either be equal or less than. This is what's really nice about the string is you can make sure all your lines are equal distance. All right, so we have point 1, 2, 3, and 4. To make it easier, we can mark all of our points. So we have point 1, 0.2, 0.1, 0.2. Here's 0.3, 0.3, 0.4, 0.4. For 0.5, we're actually gonna find the direction of the tail. With the tail, you wanna make sure that it never drops lower than 0.1. So if we were to extend our 0.1 all the way to the outside, we know where we can't go below. We can either go on that line or higher. By finding the angle of the tail, you find 0.5. So I'm gonna mark 0.5. We want the angle of both of these to be the same. So you can look at a couple things. You can look at this angle right here and see if it matches on this side. But that seems like a lot of trigonometry. Or maybe it's geometry. You can also measure the distance between 0.5 and the end of the eye. This is where you would measure from. To check to see if the angle of the tail is the same on both sides, I'm gonna measure from the end of the eye to 0.5 on both sides. Perfect. I'm gonna mark my 0.5 on this side. Now we have all of our points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All we have to do is use our brow mapping string to connect all of these dots, and then we'll have that outline of the brow. So I connect 0.2 to 0.3. Make sure you keep a straight line. Connect 0.1 with 0.4, and then connect 4 to 5. Now this is only giving you that mechanical eyebrow. You're still gonna have to come in with your brow mapping pencil and draw it in and get rid of all these other lines so that you can show your client what the shape looks like. I'm gonna connect 5 to 4. Okay, it might be hard for you guys to kind of see, but there is an eyebrow shape there. Now, I'm just gonna go in with my brow mapping pencil and draw in all of these lines. Make sure you're holding the skin taut and that you're only drawing in a little bit at a time. If you work slow, it's a little easier to be precise and less mistakes are made. When you get to the arch, make sure that you're curving these lines out. You're really just tracing your lines here and curving it out near the lower and upper arch. Now you have your brow shape and you can clean up the rest of your lines. Once you have all your brow mapping lines, you can take one of these surgical pens and actually outline all of your brow mapping. So make sure to mark your 0.1, your 0.2, your 0.3, your 0.4, and 5. And then you can mark all the rest and try to get the spacing similar, if not the same, and make very small dots. The surgical pen will actually just help because it will keep your shape throughout the entire service. So now when you go to wipe after each time you make your microblading stroke, you'll still have the brow mapping shape.